I think the key premise with being playful is it's self-amusing. So what we don't want to do is turn into these kind of very needy, almost stand-up comics, who have to get a laugh. If you're coming with a playful, fun vibe, people around you are going to feel like that vibe.
Turn yourself into that playful guy that you really want to be with everyone, and then when you're talking with a girl, shift the mindset. Oh, I want to be with this girl. And
Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. We teach busy entrepreneurs and professionals the skill set to have their dream dating lives. And the equation is this: social freedom plus social and emotional intelligence. If you follow our step-by-step implementable plan, which saves you time and stress, and you accept the other part of the equation, which is externalized accountability, you can achieve some crazy results. Take Andrew, who we recently coached in Minnesota. He went from complete scarcity with dating, having no results, to the end of the program, he was dating 12 women on rotation. If you want to see more of this type of content, click on the subscribe button.
So today's talk, for those watching, is on playfulness.
Shit back and forth. I don't know, just kind of like playfully, like.
Yeah, it's kind of having like a good vibe, isn't it? Like carrying a good vibe. I think the key premise with being playful is it's self-amusing. So what we don't want to do is turn into these kind of very needy, almost stand-up comics, who have to get a laugh. It's more about identifying as you go through life things that make you smile, make you laugh. Because if your vibe is infectious, like a virulent STI, if you're coming with a playful, fun vibe, people around you are going to feel like that vibe. So you're not trying to necessarily make people laugh. Sometimes you're going to say stuff and people will laugh, right? But it's not like the be all and end all of what you're trying to do. Basically just carrying with you like a fun, a playful vibe. Self-amusement, super key.
I think it kind of catches them off guard at times too, if you're able to kind of say something that's a little, not like shocking, but at least kind of like puts them on their toes and makes them kind of
So it's kind of
conversation.
Kind of like challenging a bit.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. You're kind of poking them, you're kind of like making them.
That'd be one aspect to it. What are the other kind of reasons? Any ideas?
I mean, it's not like boring logical conversation that a lot of other guys would have. So it would like, I don't know, it would be fun, right? Bantering.
Exactly. It's fun, right?
Yeah.
We want to, life is short, we want to enjoy it. And there is a time and place for a very logical, serious conversation, and it's a very male to male thing. But when it comes to female to male communication, women, I mean, that old adage from the song, girls just want to have fun. They want to be around a playful, fun energy. And let's be honest, like, you get the odd woman who cracks the odd joke, but it's not a girl's job to be funny. It's our job to be funny, so we have to bring that fun vibe. And that's going to take practice, is going to take playfulness. I'm sure practicing that as a skill set.
for sure. Just a side note to that, just to add to.
I love how unplayful this talk is. It's like definitely serious. We've got more and more serious as we got into it.
And also, no guy is actually going and approaching girls and being playful. Most guys are super serious because they want the outcome. But as soon as you insert that element of playfulness, it shows that you don't need the outcome, and it shows also the fact that you're being playful with someone shows that you're on their level or even above.
Yes.
Right? Because you're not playful with people who are above you in the social hierarchy, right? And women react to people who are above them on the social hierarchy. They date across enough, men date across down, right? Also on top of that, basically when you meet a girl as well, especially on the street, what we're going to go over today especially is, if you go up to a girl and you do the open, hey, let's come say hello, I thought you looked really nice. This girl's never met you before, so that's quite heavy hitting. It's quite heavy for her to absorb.
Right.
And it's going to take her off guard a little bit as well. So if you insert a funny line or something after that, like I saw your pink flamingo jacket or the Hell's Angels leather boots, she's like, ha 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 ha. And immediately that just drops her guard and she goes, oh. It just cuts away all the tension. And then straight after that, you can go into conversation. You can just slide so easily into the conversation, because if you go up to a girl, hey, I had to go and say hello, I think you look really nice. She goes, okay, cool, what are you up to today? It just doesn't work.
It's a question of doing, isn't it?
Yeah,
and the girl just
work.
gets more and more turned off because it's not fun for her.
No, absolutely not.
I'll say also last night, at least when I was kind of going through it, it was like a filtering mechanism for me. There were at least two that I walked away from, like after talking, because it was just kind of like dull conversation.
Exactly.
And it was
yeah.
like, I don't want to ask for a number, just ask for a number. If somebody's not going to be kind of like talkative and like receptive to kind of the energy, then it's like,
sure.
I'm not going to ask for a date anyway, so why could they not?
But also, that's why the self-amusement part's really important, because it's authentic to you, and you really want to be vibing with girls that actually get your sense of humour.
Yeah.
There's a great line from the Mark Manson book, isn't there, where you can't be attracted to one woman without being a jerk to another.
Yeah.
And it's so true. Sometimes I'll crack jokes with girls and they'll be mortally offended, or take it really personally, be like, and I'll say the same joke to other people. I'll say I'll make the same joke to someone else, a different girl, and she'll find it really funny. So the more you can kind of develop that idea of self-amusement and develop that playfulness that's authentic to you, the better, and the more you can project it, the better, because you actually filter out girls that aren't going to vibe with you.
So it's playfulness, but add that men to women thing, like you make it a little spicier.
Yeah, showcase.
Also, what does that mean? What are you playing with exactly when you convert playfulness to flirting? Because essentially playfulness is
Flanter. It's the new buzzword in the UK. Flanter. Yeah. All these men's magazines talking about how good's your flanter. Just flirting, banter, right?
I've never heard that.
Just flirting.
Yeah, but men who banter with each other, that's playfulness, right? But what is the thing that changes it to flirtation? Is what we're asking.
To be more specific to something that's like to them, like maybe something about like their style, or like, you know, something that's kind of that they're doing with like their hands, like their body.
Well, that's more of a practical element, but we're saying like from more of a principle, philosophical element. What changes between just bantering and flirtation?
So with women, like I would try to add something related sexual in a subtle way.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it's showcasing your interest your romantic interest in a playful way. But I mean, guys get very worried about flirting. It seems to really pressure guys, and they get freaked out by it. But essentially, cold approach is so effective when it's done in dating, because you're going to open with a compliment, and then after that, she knows what you want. So you can just practice playfulness. You don't need to worry too much about becoming this expert flirt.
Yeah, it's something that you should just be. People that are really good at flirting, really good with women, they're just playful, happy people all the time.
Yeah.
And the thing that differentiates, obviously, banter and playfulness to flirting is essentially toying with the idea that you could potentially sleep with that girl.
Yes.
That's the thing that differentiates it. That's the only thing that differentiates it.
That's like a good example, like where you're like, I don't know, like flirting with someone, like you like just commenting on their eyes, like saying pretty eyes. So you like what would be kind of like, I don't know, an example that you said that you've used in the past.
I mean, this kind of idea of push pull is good. Maybe she's wearing red. She could be like, I love that colour. It reminds me of Little Red Riding Hood, Night of the Wolf, or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of playing. It's going backwards and forwards. I think the key thing that guys get caught up on is emotional communication. Is like 10 to 15% max words usually. So flirting, body language accounts for like 60%,
Yeah.
and voice quality, how you sound, accounts for like 30%. So guys are always going, well, what's the lie? But actually, what you really want to bring in is this mentality
Yeah.
of being this playful, flirty guy, and just practicing that constantly, bring yourself back to that.
Yeah, so that basically just starts with the mindset as well, right? So just being very sexual with the girl, being openly, it's almost like demonstrating or showing your proverbial to the world.
Yeah.
Right? And being completely fine with that. So when you talk to the girl, imagining yourself being sexual with her, that's going to just change.
That's a good way of
everything.
doing it.
So always have that in the back of your mind. If you're talking to a girl that you're really interested in, don't be scared to convey that sexual element, and then naturally that's going to shift the things that you say, and they're just going to turn sexual. Because you'll say something that can be technically on paper quite boring, but if you say it with a cheeky look, and like you've got that look in your eye, she's just like, oh, I feel this, right?
The ways that I found helpful for me was constantly practicing this, almost like through a mindfulness. So like just, whenever I'm thinking about something in the future or worrying about something in the past, you take a deep breath, that brings you back to the present. And the mindfulness that I use, or the question in my head always, is how would my ideal self be acting in this situation? Usually with social communication, if I bring myself back to the present, how would my ideal self be acting? It's playful, it's fun, it's enjoying life. The other is, of course, practicing being playful with everyone. It doesn't matter if it's the barista serving you coffee. So it's really mindfulness to practice this a lot. That's really what it is.
Like, just to summarize that, basically, turn yourself into that playful being that you want to be, that ideal.
They've got to keep it gender neutral and live in sensitive talks.
That playful guy that you really want to be with everyone, and then when you're talking with a girl, just shift the mindset. Oh, I want to be with this girl, and then that's essentially going to shift the non-verbal communication.
Yes, exactly.
Which accounts for more than however much. much.
That's a great point.
Words.
Talk to this random girl on the street, what the fuck do I say? You go up and you give a compliment, you make a comment about her, say something, and then the better you can get at actively listening and just pivoting on what she says, you can always turn that playful and have fun with that. And I think the biggest sticking point guys have is that actually after concretely approaching anxiety is their inability to listen. Because often the woman will provide you with the information and you just sort of slow down and breathe and just take whatever she says and run with it and kind of pivot on that. So active listening is super key in this as well. And then with the texting, a good filter I like to employ is all women are, or the frame is, all women are sex addicts, they're all nymphomaniacs, and they're all like desperate to get me into bed. And if you send text along that frame, it's a very powerful frame because it's flipping the dynamic on its head. So, you know, anything she says, you can just kind of suggest it's like, you know, her trying to say this better. So try and be thinking about when you're texting me, like, how can I turn that playful to accuse her of trying to sleep with me? And we're not talking about overly graphic and uncalibrated stuff, but just like this dynamic of she's chasing me, because that's actually what the dynamic should be. I mean, we joke, but that rockstar effect is, yeah, you've got these like super alpha dudes, right? Women want to chase you, so they want you to be the prize. So if you can actually get into the mindset of communicating that on the text, that's going to kind of shore up better habits as well. And date stuff, question game, that's a very good way to be playful, you know, and make it fun and interesting.
Question game.
The question game. So you say to her, you do a little bit of catch up on the date. You say, right, let's play a game. We both get 3 questions each, and you can't copy each other's questions, and you've got to be totally honest. And that basically gives you, it removes all the normal the normal rules of interaction, because usually guys go on dates and talk about fucking boring stuff that they're not even interested in. Guess what? If you're not fucking interested in it, the girl's not interested in it. It's like job and like politics and all the bollocks. But by playing this game, it gives you license just to ask her whatever you want, and she gets really into the game, and you can start with interesting stuff. You start pushing it towards being more sexual with her. And you don't need to get super pornographic and over the top with it, but it's again showcasing you're not afraid to speak about sex.
Yeah.
But you still want the frame to be playful and having fun and getting to know her. And then when you combine playfulness, which is just this kind of this joy to be, this good vibe to be in life, with what we're going to talk about tomorrow, tactical empathy.
Yeah, just a note on that as well. And that's not like some weird tactic to try and get her to fall in love with you or anything like that. That's just general, really good social dynamics. And the whole point of this is finding girls that you gel with and really understanding their world, understanding their perception of the world, and seeing how that relates to you, and forming those really good connections with the girls. Because most guys don't speak to women. They speak to women, but they're not really communicating with them. They're talking on a very surface level.
Yeah.
I guess we're getting into the topic of tomorrow, which we'll leave that at.
But it's a great point, because you've got to figure out the girl, because a high value dude is gonna, like DiCaprio, yeah, of course the girl's good looking, right? But also, what else has she got going on? Okay, tick, she's in the door for like I can talk to her. What else has she got personality wise? And the tactical empathy stuff, which will teach you, is a way of figuring out how she sees the world, what are her values, what does she vibe with, because you've got to actually figure out beyond her looks, do you actually like her as a person? I've been on dates with smoking women who we have nothing in common. I've been on dates with less attractive women, we have loads in common, and vice versa, so it just depends.
I would say like it's really kind of that initial interaction. Like if from the from the word go, you're kind of being playful about it. I find that it's like easier to continue the conversation like that. And so if you go in like if you have that anxiety and you're going with that anxiety and you're not being playful, then it's going to kind of transfer over to that conversation there. It's probably not going to be lead to much, right?
Women aren't perfectionists. They do understand like guys can be nervous sometimes, but what happens is if you're super anxious and close and serious, women will feel that vibe. And so she's not gonna be logically thinking I don't like the dude. She's gonna be like, oh, it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's why it's so important we cultivate being playful and having fun in our lives, regardless of the women, right? Because people want to be around that energy.
A mindset that massively helped me with approaching girls, and we sort of covered it briefly in the intro, which is go into the conversation without the intention of getting something from the girl.
Yeah.
So don't see a hot girl and go, fuck, that girl's so hot. I just want to get a number, I just want to speak with her. Because essentially, as soon as you do that, you place a lot of focus on the outcome, which actually inhibits your ability to act more authentically in the moment. So one way to do this is to have the intention of going in and saying to yourself, I'm going to make this as fun as possible.
Yeah.
Now this is key, right? But it's not having as much fun, it's making it fun, right? Having as much fun as reactive. It's very feminine traits, like I'm going to react to the environment. If you make it fun, then you can make any environment fun, right? So as soon as you go in with that intention, it takes your focus from getting the outcome and it puts it into the present. So essentially you hack abundance in a weird way, right? And because you're not wanting the outcome, you also act more naturally. You're not scared to crack jokes because that's in alignment with your intention, which is making it fun. And therefore, because you're less needy with the outcome, you're more likely to get it. The thing that fucks most guys up is they go, there's such a hot girl. And as soon as they see that hot girl, they go, how cool would it be if I just had that girl in my life? How cool would it be if I walked into a restaurant? You see these guys like checking me out. How cool would it be if I'm messaging this girl?
And they're not even thinking about if they're going to enjoy the conversation.
No,
like,
nothing, right?
Enjoy being around the person.
And it just fucks up everything because now they've got this massive prize, so they are monitoring all of their behavior to try and get that outcome. And the girl can just, it's like when the girl's talking to you, she just smells shit, right? It's like she just doesn't know what it is, but she's like, something's off because there's this weird neediness. She knows that you don't really give a fuck about her either. And every single hot girl has that. One of the biggest challenges that really attractive women have is that they know that just every single guy that is out there is just trying to talk to them to fuck them. So if you can shift that intention to really be the guy who's making the moment fun and you're living in the moment, and the girl is not even there, she's almost just there to enjoy you.
Yes. Yeah.
Then that'll have a massive outcome because it'll be like a breath of fresh air for her from every single other guy.
But the way to develop this over a longer period of time is really practice it every day, bringing yourself back, right? How can I be playful? How can I have fun? Because you literally are the sum of your habits. And if you really did that for like 2 or 3 months consistently, you would morph into this like really social, fun, person that everyone wants to be around.
If you ask any attractive girl what they like about a specific guy, I can guarantee that 90% of the time they'll go, he's just normal around me. He's just normal.
Or if you ask them actually on a date as well, playing the question game, what's something you find attractive in men, 100% of the time, usually the top thing they'll say is sense of humour. Over anything else, enjoyment of life, right?
I'd say also, like, it feels like it puts more pressure on, like, them, like, as well, if you're trying to, like, do something about, I don't know, just, like,
if you want the outcome.
if you're not wanting the outcome, maybe they're just kind of enjoy it, kind of,
Sure.
I don't know, just
so
easier.
They don't feel pressure, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's a good point as well. They don't feel any need to, like, try and to have sex with you or do something like that. I think something like not to be scared of being uncalibrated at the beginning, because we're taking on a new behavior that we're not used to. So we're gonna fuck it up. So it's just something that, try. It's like swinging the pendulum. There's the sweet spot, and sometimes you're gonna go a little bit too far, sometimes you're not gonna go far enough, and we're gonna calibrate according to the responses that we get. And it's not being scared to fuck up either, and just going, okay, well, I said this thing and she gave me the weird look and walked away. I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah, exactly.
Just not being scared of that.
Yeah, you use the feedback and treat it like a game, just have fun with it. And then, if you get a bad reaction from saying something 5 times in a row, you know that maybe you've got to drop that thing you're saying, or that you're saying it wrong. Like it's coming across weird.
Yeah, I'd say that, I'm a pretty natural, like, playful person. The thing that was always kind of gave me anxiety was, like, that I feel like even just kind of yesterday really kind of, like, clarified some things, was, like, them not being playful back with me isn't necessarily a mark that, like, I'm doing something wrong.
Exactly.
It just means that it's not a right match. It's not like, it's just not for you. You can walk away from people who are just like,
absolutely.
There's plenty of people who I don't, like, want to sleep with, or, like, even guys that I want to fucking, like, hang out with. Because they're not playful, they're just, like, not my people that I want to.
But exactly, because a lot of us come from this background and coming into this with kind of, scarcity mindset, people pleasing, and low self-esteem, we think it's us that's the problem. Whereas, again, it's not. If you're showcasing your authentic, playful personality and having fun, and people don't resonate with that, don't be afraid to walk away. That's such an important point. Because it's needy if you have to try and make them say. You just
trying to keep going.
See past.
It's like,
that's it. See past the fact she's got fucking good tits and a pretty face. To actually, what's her energy? Do I really vibe with her on a deeper level? And if you don't, it's okay. You can walk away.
Yeah. Because yesterday, like, I ended up talking to a girl that ended up being a model, right? And it was like, it's like cool. There's like a shock factor, right? But, like, I had way more fun talking with sort of the cuter girl that, like, vibed with me better.
Exactly.
Like, initially than sort of the girl that like, you know, you kind of feel like if you're feeling that like pressure where you're trying to sort of do too much, then it's probably something you should probably pull it back.
It's a really fine balance because we have to cultivate these skills to be more playful at the same time of being aware of, do I really vibe with this person past how she looks? So it's really developing really high levels of kind of self-introspection, and emotional intelligence. And again, the more we can film, the more we can sit down and look at this footage with you, the better. But it'll be really useful for you guys to see yourself and be like, fuck, I thought I was doing that, but actually I fucking wasn't.
And I think as well, you know, we're all human, we all shit once a day. Our breath smells in the morning. So as soon as you can take away that image that you have, this, you know, because I mean, like you always say, these attractive girls, very, very attractive girls in man's kryptonite, we're just, our primal animal from inside just comes out and we're just like, oh. But as soon as you can take that away and actually look at people for who they are, as hippie as that sounds, right? You can actually almost just forget what they look like and feel the vibe that they have.
Yes.
That's going to make conversations so much better, because oftentimes we elevate people to this level when they don't actually.
They haven't really done anything deserving.
No, they've done nothing, right? And the unfortunate truth, and this is somewhat of a stereotype, and this isn't applicable to everyone, but a lot of attractive girls from the age of 14, 15, 16 have just gotten so much male attention that it hasn't forced them to develop that sense of being truly authentic, developing that sense of character.
Or sense of humor.
And no, that exactly as well. That's not a blanket statement to say that all attractive women are just, you know, got shit for brains on.
It's not your fault that you feel attracted to her looks and you want to fuck her, but you've got to be aware of the evolutionary stuff and then override yourself, right? So if you do want to read some Evo Psych stuff, like the David Buss book, is it Evolution of Desire? That's very good. Understanding why we're attracted to what we're attracted to and how to kind of being consciously aware of something means you can circumvent your own evolutionary behaviour and decide how to act as an ulterior form of acting.
When you see that really, really attractive girl, it almost forces you into a very submissive role where you go, oh, she's so attractive, I want to sleep with her.
She's out of my league.
She's out of my league. Yeah. And as soon as you fall into that mindset, you're fucked, right? Because the girl doesn't want that. She wants to respond to someone. She wants to be with someone who is above her on the social hierarchy level. So we just need to be aware of that as well. As soon as you feel yourself, you know, slipping into that, wow, she's so attractive, you just need to think to yourself, human, normal person, I want to get to know her. Yeah, women don't want to date guys that they don't think are better than them. They want to date down. Yeah. This modern, you know, not this modern sort of, what would you say, this mindset where people are like, oh, women, men are, no, they're not. They want you to be better than them.
100%.
They want you to be better than them.
It's perception.
No, it's not perception as well, right? If you're a guy and you've worked really hard to get to where you want to get to in life, you've built your business, you're making money, you dress well, you're in good shape, you actually are. You've put more effort in, right? So you are actually better.
But the new age version of self-development and dating coaching, which is far healthier, is don't fake being a high-value guy, become the fucking high-value guy. Earn a lot of money, do a job you really enjoy, learn languages, travel, live a reality you're already proud of, work on all the self-responsibility and self-confidence and self-esteem, learn game, which is social skills, which is just one string of the bow, but max out every bit, right? This is your hero's journey. This is your 1 in 400 trillion, which is apparently the odds of being alive according to calculus scientists, as you, right? So are you really doing the best you can? Is what I always say to guys, and they all then kind of hold their heads, and then one smart guy was like, yeah, but what about you? Are you? And I'm like, oh fuck, now I'm thinking my head. But yeah, no, it don't do any of this for women. Women should just be the cherry on the cake. And getting into game is such a weird thing because you get into it, and I know me and Les did the same thing. We came into it thinking, right, we weren't thinking consciously, but our life sucked, and we think, right, we'll bang a load of women, and that'll make it good. But you bang a load of women, and it's like a Trojan horse self-development. You still look in the mirror and you go, fuck, what's wrong? Yeah. This hasn't made me better at all. So it's almost like we have to go through this phase of banging women.
But you have to go through it.
You have to go through it. We can't buy all this MGTOW stuff and like that.
Twist my arm.
Yeah, you have to go through it, right? But you start to realise that it was never about the women, and it was just a part of self-actualisation and facing your fears. Yeah. Which is why I love cold approach, because every time, doesn't matter how long you've done this for, you see the hot girl, you're going to feel nervous, and you've got to force yourself into that fear, right? And women hold a mirror up to you, and a high-value girl who's higher value than you will just look past you. And that's really when you realise, right, I've got to max all this stuff out, but it's not for her, it's for you. and then women are the cherry on cake, you know.
As a guy going through your journey and really trying to be the best version of yourself, for lack of a better term, if you can't go out to a girl on the street and really put your intention forward, there's work that needs to be done. It's that simple. You know, if you're a guy who's working on yourself, you're making money, you know, you're maxing out every single area, why can you not go and talk to a girl? You know, she weighs half your weight, she's half as strong as you. Like, why, where's the fear, right?
All of what guys do in life, like to buy that sports car or climb to the CEO, it's all to get laid.
Yeah.
Right? So if you can be consciously aware of that and then just
take direct routes.
Yeah, max out the area and then directly approach it, which is, okay, I see hot girls, let me go and fucking put it out there. Yeah, exactly right.
Don't work to get the fucking Corvette.
Yeah, circumventing it to be the guy driving around the streets. I saw in Brazil when I was there in Carnival last time, there was a guy, classic thing, like driving a sports car up and down one of the roads and like looking into the bar to see if any of the girls are like.
What I found is that the girls that you actually want to be spending time with are not aroused by that. They're not going to complain if you have a sports car. They're not, get rid of your sports car, I don't like it. But if they see a guy's reliance on that, they think, that's just pathetic. Like, this guy doesn't actually have what it takes to come and talk, and he's essentially, you know, painting over all the cracks. And essentially what this does is it allows you to not paint over the cracks, but really just fix the house.
And it's a fucking painful process, like there's no point sugarcoating it. It's a path of blade with horrible amounts of rejection.
Yeah.
And embarrassment and cringing and going home, like sitting in your house with your head in your hands, being like, fuck. Anyway, so we're on the top of Playful. Alright guys, any questions? All good? Nice.
Yeah.
You can now join our completely free day game and cold approach community where you can ask questions to myself or Les or the other coaches. You can meet wings from all around the world. You get free breakdowns of loads and loads of different places for cold approach. You get to meet like-minded men who are all traveling the world, having fun, having an adventure. You see all of the old YouTube videos as well. All of the 1,000+ old YouTube videos that got taken down, they're all uploaded to this portal, and you can suggest new content you want to see. Get all of this completely for free. Link will be in the description below the video, and we'll see you there.